Yep, that's me, Franny.
Hi, welcome back to FrannyTings. I had to make sure that I accentuated on tings because like the past 2 episodes I've been saying things.
No, that's not
and I'm like,
acceptable.
ew, who is that?
Tings.
It's not that. It's FrannyTings, and welcome back. So today we have a special guest, Becky.
Hi.
So Becky and I trauma bonded over my spooky story. So I have an episode. You can go back to my list of podcast episodes that is basically how dead prisoner haunted me in LA in my Airbnb. That was a motherfucking ghost, and that shit was scary as fuck. And Becky has somewhat of the same experience. It wasn't a dead prisoner. I don't know what type of vibes it was, but we're gonna find out and we're gonna get into it. So Becky went to Asheville, North Carolina back in December.
Yeah, it was for like New Year's Eve.
Yeah, like the holiday vibes. And she had a little crazy experience in a cabin that they stayed in the middle of the fucking nowhere, or like the middle of the forest.
It was
vibes.
actually like, yeah, the backyard is like huge and like foresty, but it was a nice neighborhood. So, you know.
Yeah, well, Katia told me like a gist of your story when she came back from Asheville, because like I didn't see her for like the longest time, especially during the holidays. I had to give her like her regalo and shit.
Of course, it was hectic.
Yeah, and then when she came back, she was like, "Oh my god, bitch! So this is what happened," and she gave me like a little rundown, but like I haven't heard from the girl herself.
To be honest, I tried to block it out because it was really scary. I was really scared, and like now I'm saying, you know, it's a ghost story, but at the beginning I was like, I did not even think about it being a ghost, but after, when you think about everything, it kind of makes sense.
Oh my god. Well, I'm sorry that I'm giving you PTSD, but I hope, you know, maybe like
it's a therapy.
Yeah, it's a therapy session. It's a little therapy session. So let's get into it. So let's start on, you know, when you got there. How'd you feel when you got to the cabin?
Okay, I'm gonna do like a small little rundown of the day.
Okay.
Because we were with like a big group in the house. I think it was like I think it was like 15 or 20 people.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But me and my boyfriend wanted to go snowboarding that day. So we kind of separated from the group because no one else wanted to go snowboarding. So all day we were snowboarding.
Okay.
And I actually was able to do it. So I was like really happy this day. I was like on cloud 9. I was like, she did it.
You're like, bitch.
I was so sore I couldn't move, but it was fine.
Oh yeah, did you fall a lot?
Oh my god, I like you live on the ground until eventually it was like my body would naturally be like, okay, wait, I have to fall, because I don't like, I was scared, like I would start going really fast and then I would just like literally like plop myself on the ground,
fall over.
And so like I mentally was like, okay, just stay up, and then I was actually shredding the slopes.
Period.
But so the point is, I was like on cloud 9, and then we're on the way back, which was a little bit far, but everyone was already meeting at a restaurant for dinner. So we're on our way there, but I'm soaked. Like, even though I was wearing ski pants on top of like my leggings, all of this stuff, like every part of me was soaked. And I was, I was like, this feels gross. Like,
I don't like it. I'm cold.
Yeah, I was like, this is not, like, it's so gross. Yeah. So we met up everyone and we're in the parking lot, and I was like, the cabin's like 10 minutes away from here. Like, let me go change really quick.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you're gonna go alone? I'm like, yeah, like super fast.
Bitch,
and
that's where you fucked up.
Yeah, like when I
you're gonna go alone? No.
When I look back, it's like a scary movie where like people are screaming at you, like, don't do it.
Yeah, don't go alone, bitch.
Don't go alone. But like, I'm so used to being like I'm never like, oh my god, something bad is gonna happen. I'm like, oh, it's 10 minutes away. I'll be right back. I'm gonna change super quick.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I grabbed the keys and I'm like, okay, I'm going. I'll be right back. And it was like the sun was setting. That's like the time.
Okay, vibes, sunset vibes.
And so I'm on the way to the cabin. I'm like talking to my brother, telling him about snowboarding. I pull up to the house and I'm like, okay, I'll call you back. Like, whatever, I'm gonna get ready. I was like very excited, very happy. And so I get off the car. I grab like all of the stuff from the back seat, which we had like, you know, all of our wet clothes and our boots and whatever. So I'm like carrying like this big like thing to the door. And I had the key to the house that we got from everyone that was at the restaurant. Okay. There was only one key. So we were like, well, when I get there, the door's open. But like, I don't think anything of it because it was 15 to 20 people.
Right.
Anyone could have left the door open or like whatever. So
I'm scared already, bitch. I'm like, I'm getting prepared. You're like, I'm
scared
feeling
just
the emotions.
thinking about it.
Fuck.
I wish I had like a layout of the house so I could show you, but I'll try to describe it as best as I can. So I get there and I'm still like on cloud 9. Like, you know, I open the door.
You're like, she's officially a snowboarder.
I was like,
I'm
she
professional.
can do things. Like, this is it. Whatever you say, your mind to know.
Bitch, period. No, 100%.
But I was literally very happy. So, because I'm saying this because later on, like, someone was like, oh, maybe like your mind like played tricks on you because like you were scared that you were going somewhere alone. But I was like, I was the opposite of scared. Like,
exactly. You know?
So I walk in, I have all this stuff in my hand. I lock the door behind me, which I would later come to regret. Oh, and then the TV was on playing a football game, but I didn't think anything of it. Like, you know, someone just left the TV on.
Right.
And it was like pretty loud. I walk up the stairs and like our room was like right, you know, when you walk up the stairs, it's like right there. Okay. I dropped all of our stuff. And I keep hearing the TV go like on and off. Like, and I was like, maybe it's just like the TV or whatever.
Like it's glitching.
And I later on found out that like it was glitching, but it was weird because I had watched the TV the day before. Like nothing had been happening to the TV. Right. So like, my heart is like beating faster and faster. Okay, but so I drop all of the stuff and I keep hearing like it almost sounded like someone was muting the TV. Right. Like putting it on and off. Yeah. To like see if like to hear. Well, you know, like how some people like, oh, did I hear something? And they mute the TV. Right. That's how it sounded. So I was like I kind of like turned back and I was like, no. And then like I was like getting close to change. And then I was like, I heard something. And it sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. So the kitchen would kind of be directly under my room. Okay. Right? So like if you go, the stairs does like this halfway point, right? Like you go down and then you have to like turn to go the rest of the stairs. Okay. So if you go there, you can see the living room and then the kitchen is kind of like behind the living room. Okay. The living room was where the TV was. So I was like, I kept hearing like weird something things by the kitchen. So like I kind of like walked down to the middle of the stairs and I'm like, hello. And
you said hello?
I literally, and like, I don't know if I wish I would have never said hello, but I was like, hello. And I shit you not. Hello. I was like, no, Becky. I was like I'm just shaking telling you the story. No, I literally was like,
wait, was it like a woman's voice?
It was a male's voice and not like a very deep voice either. Okay. It was just like, and it was like, and it was like, they said hello, like in a question. And I'm like, no, question mark you. Like, what do you mean?
I'm living here right now. Like, what the fuck?
I literally was like, and I like booked it. But I even stopped at the top of the stairs to be like, wait, is this real? Like, I was like, and then I like ran into the room. I locked the door. I got in the closet. I don't know why the closet, like if the closet's gonna save me. But I was like, maybe someone is in the house, like someone from our group, like maybe it was Peter's brother or something. I was like, maybe someone's here still. So I started calling Mundi and I was like, I started blowing him up. Of course, no one's answering my phone call. Oh no. I start calling Peter. No one's answering my phone call. I call Elisa. No. I call Katya and she answers and she starts talking to me like, oh yeah. And I'm like, Katya. And I thought she was with everyone already, but she wasn't. So I'm like, is someone in the house? Like I'm like whispering because I'm trembling at this point. I'm in the closet. I'm like, what the hell? Like someone just said hello. Yeah. So I was like, is someone supposed to be in the house? Is someone supposed to be in the house? And she's like, what are you talking about? Aren't you with Mundi? And I'm like, no, pobrecita, like she had no idea. And this whole time I'm thinking she knows that I came to the house alone. Right. She's like, what do you mean? Aren't you with Mundi? And I'm like, no. I'm like, is someone supposed to be at the house? And she's like, no, I don't think anyone. What do you mean is someone in the house? And I'm like,
that's when it clicked.
I'm like, someone's in the house. So I was like, I hung up on her because I was like freaking out. And I'm texting Mundi. I'm like, is anyone at the house? Like, is someone like, and he calls me back. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, there's someone in the house. So like at this point, I'm just like whispering. I'm like, there's someone in the house. I need you. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I said hello and they said hello back and he's like, no, but everyone's here. And I'm like, exactly my point. You need to come here right now. He's like, what? So he booked it. Like he grabs, I don't know, I hear him talking. He grabs, I don't know whose truck he's and he's like hauling ass, but those were the longest 10 minutes of my life. I was like, hurry up. Like, what do you mean? Like, hurry up.
Were you hearing anything as you were in the closet?
Yeah. So I'm in the closet and this is what I'm going to try to find for you. But so I'm on the phone with Mundi. We didn't hang up because I was so scared. And then like people start calling me like, oh, what do you mean? Is she okay? So, but I'm not answering anyone. So then Joss texts me and she's like, Becky, are you okay? Like what's happening? And I like if you look at the thread between me and Joss, it's so scary because I'm like Joss, I hear this, like they turned off the TV. Fuck. They put it louder. Like it was like, oh my God, you're like describing like weird. What I was like describing everything. I was like,
wow.
And you know, like I was on the phone with Mooney and I was like, should we call the cops? Like at the beginning, it was a question. I was like, should we call the cops? Like, you know, I'm scared. And he was like, let me see, like, let me just go over there. Like, are you sure that they said hello? And I'm like, right, bro, clear as day. Like, it was literally like, hello. Like, and I'm like, what the hell?
Fuck, dude.
So I'm like trembling in the closet and I'm like, this can't be how I die. Yeah. And like every single horror movie or story that I have ever heard in my life was going through my head. I was like, what would I even use as a weapon?
Yeah, like looking around.
Yeah, I was like, should I take these wire hangers apart?
Yeah, and like starts like fucking stabbing the person with it. Oh my God.
I was like, I was terrified.
That's so scary, Becky.
I was like, what if they come upstairs? Like if they come upstairs, my life is over. Yeah. But also like, what type of psychopath says hello? Right. When you ask them, I was like,
that's not okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't get it.
Go like this.
I knew it. I felt it.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you. Girl code, bitch. Am I good now?
Yeah, it's good.
I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, matte lipstick. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Matte lipstick always be sticking to my teeth. I'm like,
I hate it.
It's like fucking rocks.
But thank God for girl code.
Period.
Okay, so I'm on the phone with Mundi and I'm like, hurry up. And I would go from like times of like just breathing and being like, okay, to almost like a full-fledged panic attack. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, there's someone in the house. Or, so then I'm texting Joss and I kept hearing things, and the more I kept hearing things, I was like, F this, like, call the police. Like, I don't even care if it's something, if it's nothing, if it's by mistake, if like I was like, call the police, because in my mind I was like, what if Mundi was coming by himself? Right. And like, one, he can't get in because the door is locked because I locked it behind me. Fuck. And then I was like, what if this person has a weapon? Like, Moody doesn't have a weapon. We're on vacation. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm sure Babe could take him down. Yeah. But I was like, oh my God. And then, like, what if he dies trying to save me? Like, all of these thoughts were going through my head. I was like, oh my God.
The instincts. That's fucking crazy.
So I was like, Joss, call the police. And I was like, giving her the address. Like, I had that shit memorized already. Yeah. I was like, call the police. And I was telling Mundi, like, I'm telling Joss to call the police. Like, I can't. Like, I'm shivering at this point. Fuck. And I didn't know that. So, and then like Katya, Joss were with their friends Cynthia and Lou and Jeff, and they were coming too, like on the way. So like pretty much everyone's on the way to the house. Like eventually like 4 cars show up and then like 5 cop cars show up. Right. But the longest 10 minutes in the closet. And so I keep hearing like the muting, the unmuting. I hear like movement in the kitchen. And I'm like really paying attention because I'm like, what if they come upstairs? They never came upstairs, thank God. But then so Mundi's like, okay, I'm about to pull up. I'll call you back. And he hangs up on me. And I hear like banging on the door. So I was
banging on the door?
On the front door.
On the front door. Okay.
So I was like, is this Mundi? Is it like one of the other guys that we're with? Like, and I start hearing footsteps hauling ass on the roof. And I was literally like,
I have huge good No,
I was paying so close attention because I was like, is that the roof? Like, I was like, who would run on the roof? I was like, why wouldn't they just go through the back door or something? There was like 3 back doors, like, you know, from the balcony. Yeah. Like, so I was like, why wouldn't they just go through the balcony, like anything? Okay. And I was on the roof and I was literally like looking up, like in the closet. I was like, and it felt like, it sounded like it was right on top of me. Like that. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. I was like, what is happening? Like, it was so much for me to register. And I was like, bro, am I crazy? Like, I was like, I'm not fucked up. Like, I haven't even drank a sip of alcohol today. Like, I'm not on any drugs. I was like, oh my God. Like, so then like 2 minutes, I was like, I'm texting Mundi. I'm like, was that you? Like, did you run? Yeah. Are you running? Because I was like, maybe it's not coming from the roof and it's just like an echo. So I have like all of these text messages that I looked at after. I was like, whoa. So I was like, is that you? And then apparently they broke in through like a door downstairs, and all of a sudden I hear Becky, and I was one of the guys that we were with, but like I couldn't even like move.
You were like so traumatized.
I was like, is it safe to come out? And I've never really felt this way before. Like I wouldn't consider myself like scared or timid, but girl, without a weapon and with some stranger and I don't know what's happening, I was like, you really never know how you're gonna react to things. I was just like,
that shit's scary as fuck. You like paralyzed.
I was like paralyzed. I was like, even when like they were there, like I didn't trust like going outside. I was
Yeah.
like, is that them? Is that him?
Yeah.
What if they learned my name? Like, I don't know. I was like,
yes,
what the
your
hell?
mind plays those games. That's what happened to me for my story. I was just like, oh my God, like, no, there's so many other factors to this.
Yeah.
That, like, I can't trust nobody or nothing.
I was like,
It's so scary.
I was like, oh my God. So they're
Yeah.
like, Becky. And I hear them like come in and they're like, Becky, come down. And like, whatever. And I'm like, you come up and get
Bitch,
me.
yeah, come
like,
here.
I'm not going anywhere. So like they come up and like they take me out of my room, out of the room that I was staying in, and they grab me and like kind of like escort me downstairs, and there's already a bunch of police officers. So I was like escorted out, and like, it felt like a blur. Like my legs felt like they were gonna drop when I was walking down the stairs. I was like, what the fuck
Yeah.
just happened? Like, so they take me outside, and it was so like the emotions like can't even describe to you. Like I was in between like about to cry, but like the tears wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
And just like, what the hell happened? And then whatever. So we all go out like outside. And there's like 5 police officers that go inside and they check the house. And we're all outside and everyone's like, are you okay? And it was like super cold outside and I was not wearing any jacket or anything. And I was like, I was not cold.
Yeah.
I was just like,
You were numb.
I was like, they said hello. Like I couldn't get over it. And I was like,
Yeah.
were you running on the roof?
Yeah.
Were you running anywhere? Like, they're like, no, like we went through like the house was 3 floors. So they're like, we went through the very bottom. They broke like a door.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. So we're waiting for the police to come and I'm like, are they going to find someone or not? And then they come out and they're like, oh, you know, like we didn't find anything, but sometimes, cause it was also a really nice neighborhood. You wouldn't think that it's a robbery or like,
right.
So they're like, sometimes people get confused with like their Airbnbs and like, and I was like, but to be like chilling, in like someone else's Airbnb,
no one's gonna pull up and be like, "Oh, this is not my Airbnb," but you know what? Like, I'm bored.
Let me just chill here and watch the football game.
Yeah, no.
And there was also like no other car in the driveway.
Yeah, no.
So it was just like a lot of things that didn't make sense. But I was like, I heard things, and I was like, oh my God, am I going crazy? And everyone's like, no, like I'm sure, like I'm sure it was something. And I was like,
yeah.
And that's when like it started to like
to maybe it wasn't a person,
right?
Like,
a little bit. So, but for me, that was very hard for me to get there because like I was like it was just so many things to process that I was like, what is happening? So the police officers were like, a lot of times like it's Airbnbs or like if someone that the person that owns the Airbnb, someone they know might know that it's an Airbnb and like come, but I was like by themselves. Like, like no, it just didn't make sense.
And you only heard like one person around the house?
I felt like it was only one person. Like it didn't sound like multiple people or anyone talking or whispering or anything like that.
So what were some of the noises that you were hearing like when you were in the closet?
I heard like noises in the kitchen.
Like what were the noises though? Like pots and pans or like they
or
were
like
making like caldero, like you know, like making fucking mac and cheese.
Like
and
I heard like drawers opening. I feel like I
Okay.
heard the back door opening, so I was like, maybe they're leaving.
Okay.
But then like I would hear more noises, so I was like, they're not leaving. I was like waiting to hear like footsteps up the stairs, but I think I would have literally like passed out or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like the whole time I was like, please don't come up the stairs. Like what do I do? Like if they start coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
So I heard, I don't know, I have to like look back at it was a lot of the TV. Like the TV would turn off, so like I didn't feel like it was glitching because it would turn off for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they changed the channel because you could tell whether it's a football game or not. They changed the channel, they would put it louder, then it would like start muting again. And I'm just like,
that's not it. Oof.
I'm like
getting goosebumps again.
I really tried hard to watch. I was like, what the hell? So,
wow.
So then like later on, I'll, thinking about it. So everyone is still at dinner.
Right.
So like we go to meet and I'm like, I need like a triple margarita.
Yeah, for real.
And I was talking to Katya like way after the fact, just so like you get an idea of my nerves.
Okay.
We were talking about something else and like I noticed my hand was literally like
shaking.
And I was like having a conversation and I looked and I was like, oh my God. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then one of our friends who was staying on the 3rd floor, so like not it's just like creepier always
on the bottom floor.
She was like, I think it was a ghost, and I was like, I can't, I was
like I can't process that either, like, so like don't even.
But it's true, like there was a bunch of like energy in the house, like different energies.
Like did you guys feel that like when you got there, like when you guys got there, you guys were like, oh, let's unpack, but then there was like that one room that was like
I feel like the room that Katya and Josh were staying in, it was like this little room on the 3rd floor, and like the 3rd floor was the coolest, like the last floor, I guess. So I guess the 1st floor. it was the coolest one because it had like a bar and the pool table and like this like TV area. So
it was like a bunker, right?
It was like a bunker, but then there was like a room, and there was a room that Katia and Josh stayed in, which was smaller. Excuse me.
The burp.
I never burp. It like does a U-turn.
Yeah,
so
same.
I want it to come out, but it won't. So that was the that was creepier at night. I think they described, and then they told me stories about like there was like this plastic ball with like holes in it that Vince was there, but he was never playing with that ball, and that ball would be like at different areas like of the house or like the backyard all the time, and they're like, who's moving the ball? So unless it was someone that we were with playing
tricks,
and
that's not okay.
I feel like I'm very sensitive to energies, even like people's energies. So like I would never be like alone on the first floor. Yeah. Like in the beginning, like it just felt very like cold and creepy. So weird. I would be like, and then talking about it with the other people that were on the trip, one of the guys was like kind of sleeping on the couch one of the night, and when you can feel someone like walk around you, he said that he felt that like while he was sleeping,
negative,
and that it like the person, we're still like, we don't know if it was someone that we were with, but, like the person, but like who would do, like they like walked around him and like got close to his face, like like who would do that? Like that we were with,
but he felt it, or like he saw it,
he was like kind of sleeping, so I feel like it was like, I don't know if he felt the energy. I don't know. So then I was like, oh my god, maybe it was a ghost.
Honestly, because I feel like, because since it was just you, like it's just easier to like just soak up all the energy that is there, and like since you're susceptible, like you just said, it's easier for whoever was there. That I honestly think, like from when Katia was telling me, like I think it was someone that like maybe like used to live there or like whatever, and they don't know that they're dead. Like they just literally are walking around, and like they maybe
who's in
like,
my home.
Like who is in my home. It was more so like you both had the same reaction. Like that's how I felt. Like when I was hearing the story, I felt like you both had the same reaction. Like they kept muting because they're like, who the fuck is in my house? And you're like, who the fuck is in my house, bitch?
I was like, what do you mean hello? Because they said it so like with a question, and I was like, are you questioning? Like what? Are you okay? Like I was, oh my god.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, this is either like a sociopath playing games with me that's about to murder me, or something else. Because who the hell says hello? Like if it's their home. Yeah. So then like later on I was like, okay, that would make sense. Like the footsteps sounded like they were coming from
that. For sure.
And then I know on your podcast of your ghost story, you would talk about like, I know what I heard. Yeah. But for me, I did know what I heard, but I was also like questioning myself so much, because I was like, did I really, really hear that? And I was like, no, but I really did. Like, I know I did. But you just get to a point that like you're doubting things, because you're like, this is so weird. Like,
because it's not the norm.
Had 5 cop cars pull up, you know what I mean? Like all the police officers there, like they even took down my information, like in case they needed to ask me questions later, or in case it happened again. Like I didn't think at first like, oh, this is a ghost messing with me, let me mess with it back, you know?
Yeah, no, I was like, it is scary though, because it's like your mind can play a lot of games on you, and like you don't know what's real and what's not. And especially when it comes to being so susceptible to energies, I feel like that's another, like a whole nother level, because it's like, well, now you're questioning your reality, but not only that, you're questioning like the whole other reality that you're not even sure of, or no one is really sure of. So it's like,
there's
fuck,
like no actual proof of anything.
Exactly. So that shit is crazy. And how do you feel like after the fact? Like I know I'm kind of like bringing up I'm like you're like,
I honestly still get PTSD sometimes when I walk into an empty house. Like I'm always like, hello.
Hello. But you're like, hello.
Is anyone there?
Like,
God forbid I should hear that shit again. Oh my god.
Like, no, but that's like setting yourself up, bitch. I would not say hello.
Sometimes I'm just like but I don't know, like for Airbnbs, I don't see myself going alone back to one for a long time.
For sure, especially it being like, a cabin in like the middle of like the forest, like 3 floors.
We had
like, I don't know, that's
but
scary.
Like the backyard was super open. So I was like, did these people, or like did someone just pop up from the forest? But it was really scary. And I do believe in like everything spiritual wise, but I've always, since I was a little girl, I've even like prayed to God and been like, please don't let me hear, because I kind of feel like I've always been sensitive and susceptible to things. But I remember vividly praying like, God, please don't let me hear or see anything that's not there, because I'm not ready for that.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm just like, I'm not like,
Fuck,
it
yeah.
scares the shit
It's
out
scary,
of me.
yeah.
And you know, I'm more of a
Fuck.
scientist type, so I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the data? Where's the proof?
Yeah.
Like, I have my faith and my spirituality,
Where's
but
the
I'm
analytics?
like, am I sure I'm not crazy?
Oh no.
Does this exist? Like,
Fuck.
so I was like, oh.
Yeah,
it's
but I feel like
scary.
at that point, like, you have to trust yourself too. Like,
I feel like that
it's-
made me grow in that
yeah,
sense of
yeah.
like, because like thinking about it so much, and I'm like, I'm okay, like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like I heard what I heard, and I believe in like a lot of these things. So
Exactly.
maybe this happened for a reason, or
Yeah.
maybe this happened because of like who I am,
Right.
like that I am susceptible to these things. Maybe if it was someone else, like they
wouldn't
have
hear
heard it.
anything or whatever. And I feel like sometimes too, like when we're in situations like that and like you're distracted, so like all those days you guys, it was like 15 of you guys in this house, and like obviously you're all
Yeah.
distracted with partying or whatever it is, and then like that one time that
That
it's
you're
just like
alone.
by yourself, like that's when like you can hear, you can feel
Yeah,
everything.
like all of the energy too, because like when you're
Exactly.
talking to people, when you're having fun, you're blasting music, we were playing pool, we were doing all these things, we're not like focusing on like
Exactly.
what's the energy in this
Yeah.
room, in this house,
Unless
you know?
that's your like goal, but like I don't
It
think
wasn't
that's
our, it
anyone's
was not our goal that
Yeah.
weekend.
You're like, trust me, sis.
It was not
It's
it.
not. Yeah, like when I had my ghost story in LA, and like
Scary.
the moment we walked in, me and my cousin Stacy were both very susceptible to energies.
Yeah.
And like we walked in and like immediately we're like, this house is like mad creepy, to the point that that same night we got there, my cousin's like, can you like stay in the bathroom with me while I shower, because I'm that scared.
Yeah.
And I thought she was being dramatic as fuck at first. And I mean, I still did it because like, you know, obviously I love her. But like at first I was like, oh, you're being dramatic. But then once I was by
How being
myself,
dramatic?
yeah, but once I experienced what I experienced,
You're
like being
like-
alone, hearing everything I heard, I'm like, yeah, for sure this place is mad haunted. And like luckily for me, which is like kind of bad, is like I was like high as fuck, like on fucking edibles, and like so
don't know
I
what I
felt
would've
like
done.
my body was a little bit more relaxed, because I felt like if I wasn't like on edibles or something, I would have been like, my body would
Yeah.
have really like, I don't know, it would have been distraught,
100%.
like shaking and all that. Luckily I was just like,
I was shaking, like I could not stop shaking.
I'm
Like,
sure you
the
were sore the next
adrenaline,
day
I
because
was
of how
super-
much
and not
you
only
were
that, I had
shaking.
like snowboarded too, so I was like, what did my body just go through?
Yeah.
And the adrenaline, I just feel like was
For
so
sure.
high that it took me hours to even feel like normal.
Normal.
And thank God that was
Mhm.
like the last night in the house, because
Oh, okay,
I don't
good.
think I could have stayed there for much
Another
longer.
night. Oh fuck yeah.
And I was like, you know, like when I went to go change, like after the police officers left and everything, like I made Katya come to the bathroom with me.
Oh, bitch,
to change. Like I
100%.
was like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
Shout out
Oh my
Katya,
God,
because
sorry.
she was like, no, I get it. I was like, I'm sorry, you guys.
How long did it take you to like maybe like process, I feel like, everything you went through, or like you still
I
processing
feel like I'm
it?
still processing it. I'm
Yeah.
like, because I'm like, why? Like I have questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, who? And like, what was
Yeah.
the purpose? You know.
I mean, maybe the purpose was to know that you're susceptible to energies.
Yeah.
Like,
I learned my
you know, yeah.
or maybe
like,
the purpose was to show me not to go to Airbnbs alone.
there you
in
go.
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, but I do feel like
True.
it did have a spiritual side to it.
Yeah.
In a weird way. So I
Mhm.
know that in your last podcast you said that you
Mhm.
had a lot of other experiences, like spiritual wise, when you were younger, or other than that ghost story.
Yeah. So
Like, what were they?
What were they? So I feel like ever since I was little, like when I was little is when I became like super susceptible to energies. Like I feel like when you're older, you get distracted by like everyday life, and like you might not like pay attention to those
Yeah.
little noises that you hear.
You don't have enough time to like. I feel like we push it away because you don't have enough
Exactly.
time to like dive into things.
Exactly.
And you're just
Exactly.
like super caught up with doing other things and our friends and our school and whatever.
Yeah, like we're just distracted from like
Mhm.
everyday life. So when I was little, I would have a really hard time like falling asleep or like going to sleep, because I would always feel like certain energies in my room, or I would always hear things. And then it got to the point that like when I was, and the thing is, I would go to my parents' room and like wake them up or sleep with them, because I felt like
It was in your room.
yeah, I felt like it was in my room specifically. So it got to the point that I was like already like in 5th grade, and my dad's like, this is
You can't be
not it. You can't be sleeping with us anymore, bitch. So I would wake up in the middle of the night, and my dad would take me to go show me like what the noises were. So like it'll be like the hose hitting
He's
the
like,
car.
look, it's the refrigerator. You see?
Exactly. Yeah, like look, it's this, and like whatever it is, and like eventually my mind just like started being like, okay, fuck it, like
And
it's
ignore
just
it,
this,
yeah.
it's just this. But like when I was little, it's like I knew it wasn't just the refrigerator. I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't just water hitting the car. Like
Right.
I knew it was other things, and like it got so bad to the point that when I was little, I would be able to see like my fears. So like it, like when I was little and I first moved to Miami, I used to hate like the lizards. Like now I don't
okay.
give a fuck
There's a
about
lot of
them.
those here too.
Yeah, I used to hate lizards, and like when I moved here, they were everywhere. And I guess since I was staying up like super long nights, like I would go to sleep at like 6 a.m, being like fucking in first, second grade, you know. And like I think because I would stay up because how scared I was, I started like seeing things. So like I remember there was one night that like I started seeing lizards all over my room.
Girl, you were like tripping on
everywhere.
acid when you were in first grade.
Bitch, yes. And I was like, this is not it. And like I would just always get my blanket and like put it over my head,
no.
and my SpongeBob, which is still my comfort pillow, like
Yeah.
till this day. Like it was just a lot. And like when I was little too, I would always, well, till this day too, I always have really crazy dreams of like dead people like talking to me and like trying to transfer messages.
I was gonna say
like,
that could be a way of like transferring.
Yes.
I do feel like I've slept with people that have passed away, like dreamt with them, not slept with them.
yeah.
But like, but it's usually my family members, just someone that I
Exactly.
knew. It wouldn't be anyone random.
Yeah, it wouldn't be anyone random for me either. It would definitely be like I would have like friends of friends, maybe
Yeah.
like, or you know, whatever it is. And sometimes like I'll have dreams that I have a need to tell my friends about, you know, and then they'll be like, what the fuck? Like, how did you know about that? And I'm like, bitch, I don't know. Like,
That happens to me a lot. Like
Yeah.
I'll dream specifically about seeing someone, and then I'll literally see like someone that I haven't seen in a long time, and I'll
Yeah.
see them like within a day or two.
Yes.
And I find that super weird.
Yeah.
I'm always like, and sometimes I wonder if I end up manifesting it, because since that happened a couple times now, if I dream of someone that I haven't seen in a long time, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be seeing
yeah,
them soon.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, I wonder if I'm manifesting it or it's just happening. Or
I feel
both.
like when it comes to that specific thing, like I feel like two people are like maybe are like their energies are attracting each other
Yeah.
for some weird reason, and it's crazy because it's like you never know until like you have the conversation with them of like why maybe you dreamt about that or
Yeah.
why you saw them.
I actually have a really crazy thing that happened not too long ago, and Katya's always telling me like, whoa, like I can't believe that
Yeah.
happened.
Like, you're woke, bitch.
We have a group chat with like some of my friends, and I had a super scary dream that night, and my
Okay.
dream was that I was being chased, like I was running, and the whole dream I was like running away from something, and I was super scared. I was out of breath. I couldn't find which way to go, and literally like two of my friends were like, one of my friends was like, I had a dream with you last night, and I was like, really? That's so crazy. I had like the weirdest dream.
Yeah.
I was running and I was being chased, and she was like, bitch, you were running from us, because I had a dream that like me and Katya killed you, not you, Katya, another one.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? She's like, you didn't run fast enough, because like they dreamt that they killed me.
Oh my
But it was
God,
like so weird,
what?
because like our dreams were literally connected.
Yeah.
Because I was like running and like super scared, and like it was in fear. Like I
Yeah.
felt it in the dream, you know, when you wake up and
Yeah,
you're
you're like,
sweating and everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, I had a dream, and she's like, and like we like buried you and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to get better friends.
Yeah,
I'm
what
just
the
kidding,
fuck?
I
Why
love
you
them.
guys? Yeah,
But
why
they
you
were
guys
like, it
dream
was
about
so
that?
scary. Like I don't know why we killed you, but we were chasing you. And I was
Wow.
like, I had like that was like so creepy to
That
me.
is crazy.
And like I had told our Katya
Yeah.
earlier that I had that dream, and then I talked to them after, and then I was like, you know how I told you I had that dream that I was running, and I was like, my friends just told me this, and she was like,
That's
she's
so
like, y'all are on
creepy.
some other shit.
Yeah,
I
that
was
happens.
like-
So like for me, when it comes to dreams, I think we go to like an alter reality, like not an alter reality, but like another dimension of
would make
like our
sense.
reality. And I feel like sometimes, like if you really like try hard enough, you can like
Make things happen.
link
or
with another dream, you
Yeah.
know. Like there was this tweet that I saw once that this girl was like, there was this guy that I had a dream with like a long ass time ago, and I saw him in person recently, and he kept looking at me and I kept looking at him, and it's like we knew each other,
That's so
but we didn't know from
crazy.
where, and we can both feel each other just like staring at each other and being like, yo, like this guy looks so familiar.
That's crazy.
And it's
they
like,
knew each other in
for
an
sure
alternate
in
dimension,
another
like-
dimension.
Yeah.
Like I always think that like whenever I dream, like I have these altered dimensions that I only remember in my dream. Like in my dream, I'll be like, oh, I've been here before. I've seen this person before. But when I wake up, I can't just like go back to it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's that dream or that's that dimension.
Some people don't remember their dreams at all.
I can't do that.
Which
that's
is
crazy.
I dream very vividly and I
same.
remember them. Sometimes like it'll take me a while to remember them, and if I don't try to remember them, I won't. But like the vivid dreams, I always remember them. But I do have a hard time dreaming and remembering someone's face that I don't know. Yeah. It'll just be a blur to me. Yeah. So I feel like if I did see them in the street, I would be like,
I don't know. But that's crazy though. But there's a reason like why. Energies. Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why like you remember that face, you know, because scientifically they say like you can only dream about things that you've seen like in your actual reality. Yeah. But like who knows in like actual reality, like what your reality is when you go to another dream, you know? Like there was this one time, which I think till this day has been one of the craziest dreams I've ever experienced, and it was like not too long ago. I think it was like a year ago, and I had a dream that I was with a friend of mine, and it looked like we were on Mars, like literally looked like Mars, you know. I'm like Elon Musk, like hire me,
sponsor me, and my podcast.
Tesla, give me a Tesla. So we were on Mars. It looked like we were on Mars, and like I remember the goal of the dream was like a manhunt kind of, you know. And then I remember that my friend Stephanie, that's the girl that was in the dream, she was like, oh, like let's find like whatever we need to find behind this like bulldozer or whatever. So then I go and then I see these two like cowboys come up to us, and then it comes like in the dream I came to reality that I was dreaming. So I looked around and I'm like, what are we, like, why am I here? Like, what are we doing here, you know? And then they came up to us and they're like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And I'm like, let me explain. Like I told Stephanie, I'm like, let me explain. And I told them, I was like, listen, you guys are in my dream. Like, I know that like this is your reality, but you guys are in my dream. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yes. So like you see everything here, for you that's real. For me it's not. I'm gonna wake up. I
created your reality.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up. For you, you're not. Like, you're gonna stay here. Like, this is not my. And I just kept trying to explain it. So you're like super
woke in your dream.
Yeah, and I was kept trying to explain to them because I was super conscious. Like for sure in that moment I was like, oh, this is not real. Like I can totally like,
I'm not really on Mars.
Exactly. So I kept talking to them and they looked at me like if I was fucking crazy. Like they looked human. Like it's not like they were like UFOs or like, it was just two cowboys and they were just looking at each other like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? Like they were just so confused. And I'm like, yeah, like this is my like dream and this is your reality. And then like eventually it got to the point that I just woke up because I'm like, I can't like get
frustrated.
They don't get it. Yeah, like I can't get the message.
The people on Mars
are
stupid, everyone.
Yeah, like just so you know. But like I couldn't get it through to them. And like I woke up and I'm like, yo, that's the first time that I felt like, well, I feel like in most of my dreams I become conscious of what's going on, but like to the point that I literally tried explaining to someone that you're in my dream.
And everyone's like, what?
Exactly.
But that is a different level of woke in your dream, because I felt like I become conscious in my dreams sometimes, but to the point that I'm like, let me wake up, I have shit to do.
Right. Like, I have homework to do.
I'm dreaming, this isn't weird. This isn't real life. I have to get up now.
Yeah, but I literally was trying to explain the thought process of like.
But I wonder if you had something else to tell them. Like if they would have understood.
Yeah.
I wonder what you would have said next.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably would have kept going. Like, oh, so this is my dream state. Like, this is how it works. Like, because that is called, I think it's like lucid dreaming. Like, because astral projection is like a whole nother thing, which I actually want to do. Like, Katia told me about this show and the last podcast we did. It's called like the Behind Her Eyes or some shit. I don't know if you watched it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I saw like the first episode and it's like about astral projection and stuff. And I'm like, bitch, that's my goal. And she's like, I know. That's why I know you would like this show. Because it's a crazy thing. I want to watch it too. It's a crazy thing to like see yourself like outside of your body, because your body is like all you know. Like yeah, we have a soul and we have this energy, but your body is all you know. So imagine
like your soul is
taking yourself out. Like that's like
a lot of people say that like when they have near life death experiences, or like if someone is like in an important surgery, there's like a lot of like records of people saying that they saw themselves, like they saw them doing surgery on them, or they saw them dead, like people like they'll die and like their soul will leave their body and they'll see themselves lying there dead, like after a car accident or something. That's before they bring them to
to life again.
I don't know, but like, do you really want to do it if it means you're gonna be that close to death?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's this other show that I watch. Well, there's two shows that I want to go back to, which is the OA. That show is all about near-death experiences and how she's able to travel to different dimensions, like through this like movement that she does. And it's like the selected like group of 7 people that like all had near-death experiences, and then they figure out every single time they die, they go to this like master phase where they're given a movement, and because all of them put together those individual movements, they're able to travel to different dimensions. It's fucking crazy.
I need to watch that.
Dude, it is so good. I've seen that show I think 3 times because like,
how many seasons is it?
It's only 2 seasons. Yeah. And like they canceled it, and I'm like, and there was like a whole like petition to bring it back and shit. I signed that shit like a bunch of times. The fuck. Yeah.
Under 4 different names.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like there's this one scene where like she gets like taken by a tree, and like she starts like falling into all these roots, and like all of a sudden like the roots stop and they're like carrying her. And then beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful. The visuals are really nice too. So the roots are like carrying her, and then it's a bunch of like people's dreams, like whispers, and like throughout all the roots. And like there's this analogy that I saw once on TikTok, which reminds me of that scene, that it's like we're all like individuals, like our fingers are like humans and the universe is like our palm, so we're all connected. We just don't notice it, like because we're all connected.
And have you read the book Many Lives Many Masters?
Bitch,
have you read it?
I haven't finished it, but
I haven't finished it either.
Yeah, I'm halfway through.
I'm like 3/4.
Yeah, it is so good. It's hypnosis,
so good, and it made me really believe. And to me, what really made sense is that like your souls travel together.
Yes.
So like you know, like you could be my friend in this lifetime and like be my sister in the next, or my teacher in the next, or like just someone that like you like. And for some people, it does feel like this is really cheesy, but it feels like you've been traveling with each other's souls for a long time.
Yes, 100%.
That's also why I think like, you know how like when you meet someone and you just get like a super bad vibe from them, or a super good vibe, or like you instantly click or you instantly are like, this girl really weird around this person. I feel like that's why, because like something happened in your past life, or like fears that you might have that you don't know why you have those fears. Could be because something that happened in your past life. I do believe in that.
That shit's crazy. When I read it, I'm like, bitch, period, 100%. Like so whenever they would meet the masters, I was like, exactly, like this is what the OA was fucking saying,
and they need to bring it back,
and they need to fucking bring it back. Yeah, dude, that shit is crazy. And like how the therapist was like her fucking like her, what is it called?
And that guy worked at the hospital that I worked at.
Oh my god, for real?
And then I think he made like the psychiatry in UM, like the whole department. He was like one of the head, I don't know, but it's really,
that book is so good, and it's so beautiful. Like
it's really,
and the fact that like she wouldn't even know what she was saying in the hypnosis is crazy.
And I have to say, like, I know a lot of people are skeptical about this, and so was I. But like the way that he wrote it, he explained it so good, and it helped that like he even wrote about how he was skeptical about it happening,
and how his wife was like, nah, this ain't it. And then like she came and she's like, yeah, this is it.
I changed my mind. I stand corrected.
Yes.
But I don't know, it's so crazy. And then going back to like, I don't know if it's like spirits or like angels or like guardian angels. Have you ever had an experience where you feel like you did something, or like something happened to you, like physically, like you moved, or like something happened to you without you like knowing that it was gonna happen? I have like,
wait, what do you mean? I'm confused.
I'm gonna explain it.
I'm confused.
That was like a maze.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm confused. Like I was trying to puzzle it together.
Like something moves you, like literally, like, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I was like, I think I was like 9 or 10, and this really made me believe in like, I don't know if it was like guardian angels or like a spirit or a presence, but when I was like 9 or 10, I was like doing something on my bed. I was literally like folding clothes, like doing I don't know what. And you know, on the roof where they have like lights, and then they have like a glass vase that kind of like you screw onto the roof. There was one like directly on top of my head. Okay. And I was like doing my thing. I'm literally 9 or 10. I'm young. And out of nowhere, I like run to the corner of my room, and the splits, and like I didn't run, like I just felt moved. Like I literally felt like
something
so quick. The minute I moved, it fell, landed on my table, and like broke this like it was like a little drawer thing. Like it went straight through it because it was like a heavy glass vase. I'm never putting one of those up again.
Yeah.
But the minute, and like I didn't think about it. I wasn't like, oh, it's about to move. Like there was no noise. I literally, for some reason, just like went to the corner and it fell the second I moved.
Wow.
And ever since that happened, I was like, I don't know what everyone believes, but like something's real. I didn't think about that. There's no way I could have known that. Like,
right.
And I believe I was like sitting too, like with like on top of like one of my legs, and I literally just like got up super fast and moved. And ever since that happened, I was like, and then like I went and it had broken through the thing that was on my bed, and I was like, that could have been my head. I was like, I almost died. Oh my God. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I wouldn't have died, but for sure got in a concussion.
Yeah, concussion or some shit.
That would have hurt. It was like so a heavy
scary.
glass.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I do believe in like guardian angels, and I do think that like, you know, they're kind of like masters, or like, you know, in a way, like in,
guiding
let's say,
you,
guiding
and then
you.
they're like, you can't get crushed by this. You have something else to
you
learn.
have something else to learn. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, there's so many forces out there, and like there's so many things that it's like a loophole, or like not a loophole, like a black hole. Like there's literally so many things that you can like process.
So much.
I don't know, and I feel like, I personally believe that when you experience like the true definition of life, and like you have to go through every single position. Like you have to be a poor woman, you have to be like, you know, you have to lose a kid, like you have to go through all these things in order to become that master, in order to become that guardian.
Like each life is to teach you something specific, and what you learn in your next life is something that you fail to learn in your past life. Because maybe you don't need to go through the exact experience, like let's say like losing a child. Maybe you'll never go through that in your life, but maybe like you'll understand and have perspective, or like someone close to you did it, or your mom, or like your sister, your wife, or, you know, like until like you become woke pretty much.
And until you like really learn to love unconditionally, and really understand the value of life, and like all these things that make, you know, us human, like make us connected. Human. I do feel like love is like the higher power, and like 100%. the like final like lesson that you need to learn, like to love unconditionally, to like spread love. Like there's nothing without love. And I feel this is like, you know, some people are gonna be like, what? But if you think about it, like a lot of people like have an issue with religion and all of it, and I get it. There's a lot of like things around it, but like I feel like when you talk about like God is literally love. Like people place the name on God or whatever, but it could like I really don't think that God, or like people think of a man, like I don't think it's a man. It's like all encompassing like power, spirit, presence. It's a higher like up,
and I doubt the higher power cares what you call him, her, whatever. Like it's hard to because of the language. It's hard, but like like you can't really put the higher power or presence in a box, and I feel like people stay doing that. But like I feel like if you like open your mind to it, it's all like love and everything that is good, like everything that. And I mean, some things, you know, people always have the argument of like, what about all the bad things that happen? But it's hard to explain. Like,
but I feel like, but that is life though, because without bad there is no good, and without good there is no bad. So like we have to go through bad things in order to experience beautiful things. Like there's always like something beautiful at the end of like a bad story.
There's always something to be learned, and even if we don't understand why something is happening, or why, you know, terrible things happen all the time, why there's so poverty, why there's always like a reason behind things.
100%. Crazy. And it's crazy how like the people that suffer the hardest are the ones that view life in such a beautiful way. Like that to me always gets me. Like when I had Mari on my podcast, when I had Johnny on my podcast, like they went through really hard times. That like, am I gonna live?
You gain
like,
so much perspective, and you meet so many people on that journey that you're on, or I feel like it's just a sense of gratitude, and gratitude is
100%.
a lot. Gratitude is everything. So
sometimes I catch myself like being frustrated for like first world problem shit,
and then like I feel so stupid. I'm like, what am I doing?
Like I'll get frustrated. Like yesterday I was late for Rusan, and I was super frustrated, and I'm like, look at me, bitch. I'm so blessed to even can drive to Rusan and be late to somewhere to go eat and spend money on. Like, girl, what the fuck?
But
like,
it gets hard. It gets so easy to get caught up, but gratitude is a great form of grounding yourself.
100%. 100%.
I also what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Hold on.
Gratitude?
Oh no, going back to like when terrible things happen, or maybe not even such terrible things, but like hardships in your life. I feel like one thing that I'm trying to do now is everyone's always like, why did that happen to me?
Yeah, it's like,
And
why
I'm
is this
trying to
happening?
Exactly.
For me.
Like, why is it happening for me?
Yeah, for
what can I learn
sure.
from this? Like, what is this supposed to be teaching me? How is this
Yeah.
supposed to make me a better person?
For
How is
sure.
this supposed to make me help others
sure.
or something like that? You know?
It's like when you look at things like that, life is so different. Like
Yes,
it's so
different.
fucking different. Like what is the value or like in this lesson, you know? Because when I went through what I experienced during COVID, I literally could have like just been in like a pity party, you know?
And
like
that's the easier thing to always do. Like it's hard to stay grounded or to like check yourself. You know, like why are you thinking this way? It's always so much easier to be like, wow, like
poor me,
the universe
poor me.
has it out for me. Like,
Exactly.
you know, or like, or I hate when people are always like, oh no, I'm bad luck, or like I have bad luck, and I'm just like,
it's
stop
like
saying it. You're bringing it upon yourself.
Yeah, like you're putting that shit on yourself. You're setting yourself up,
Yeah.
like going into an empty house and saying hello.
Okay, that's not the same thing, girl. Girl, I was just checking. I will never.
You're like, oh my god,
I will never say I feel attacked.
You're like,
okay, but hello is not the same thing as I'm so unlucky.
yeah.
I'm actually I'm one of those people that like when I enter raffles or I gamble of any sort or anything, I'm like, I'm about to win. It's gonna be crazy, and then I win, and everyone's like, what the hell? And I'm like, energy,
manifesting, baby.
Yeah.
Period.
And one of our friends' birthdays, he did a raffle, and when I tell you that I got there last, and I just bought like 20 tickets, and everyone had a bunch of tickets, I won like 4 out of the 5 things, and everyone was like,
period. How the fuck? And you're like, because I knew I won
Yeah,
already.
I was like, because
I
I'm a
won
winner.
already, bitch. Period. I knew I won.
I'm a winner. It's that energy. And
exactly.
And when I feel like I don't have that energy, I don't even play because I'm like, I know I'm gonna lose. Like,
for sure. And like, I feel like that's everything in life. Like, it's all your perspective on how you view life. And like, when you think about life like that, like, how is this happening for me? I feel like
everything
you
changes.
the
way you treat people even change. The way that you react to things, which is a big one, because it's really hard to react in the ways that you want to. Like a bunch of times you react and later on you're like, wow, I should, like yesterday when you're frustrated, you're like, what am I reacting?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But it's hard. But when you think about things like that, it gets better. It's a process though. It's all a journey, and I feel like that's pretty much the whole, to put it in a nutshell, it's like the whole point of life.
Exactly.
It
really is.
about this type of
and
stuff.
like it's easy to get like caught up in like how other people like react towards you too, because like there's been people that like, let's say you're ordering at a restaurant or something, and that the waiter is being rude or whatever it is,
super bad attitude.
Yeah, it's like you can easily like use it to be like, oh, like why is this person acting like this, or like that, like getting frustrated or going at their level, versus just being like, oh, maybe they had a bad day. Like, I'm
that annoying friend that like when you're venting, I'm like, but maybe like this, and then they'll be super negative, and I'll be like, well, you don't even know if like they got in a car accident yesterday and now their car, like, you know, like I'll think
me
about,
too.
I'm like, you have no idea what's happening.
Exactly.
But I get how that could be annoying, because sometimes you're like, just let me be
like side with me just for like 2 seconds,
and then I'm like, you're right, let me stop playing devil's advocate. But I do like when people do that to me too, because it opens my perspective, and I'm like, damn, you're right. Like, maybe
that happened to me once, and I felt so bad, like literally instantly. So like the thing, I'm very like the type of person that I'm like, oh, like let's say if someone opens the door for me and they don't, or like I open the door for someone
when people don't say thank
and
you,
they don't say thank you. Yes, I'm like, you're welcome. Like I'm one of those, like whatever, petty as fuck. So like I did that at a supermarket with this guy that was working there. Like I kind of made like a slick remark like that. So then I noticed that like throughout the store, like when I was getting a few things, like he kept like getting in the way, but like not saying anything, or like not saying like, oh, excuse me. Yeah, like, and I kept getting frustrated. So when we were checking out, he was like ringing us up, like he was like the bag person, like putting away the groceries, and like it turns out that he was mute, because like I guess the lady ringing him up like did like sign language or something, or like I don't know what she did. Damn. But I was like, wow, I feel like a fucking bitch. You're
just like, I'm a fucking bitch.
I'm like, I'm a fucking bitch, and I'm like, well, this is a good lesson.
That's a wake
up call. You know, that was a huge wake up call for me, and I always think about that whenever I like say slick shit like that. Like when I'm like, oh, you're welcome or whatever, I'm like, Franny, remember that fucking time?
What if he was mute?
Exactly. What if he was mute? Or what if like, you know, they had
so many
like
things that
exactly.
I said it to one of my coworkers the other day playing around, and they're like, oh my god, like I was like so in my head thinking about something that I didn't even like notice I didn't say thank you. So like you just never know. Like if people are having a bad day, their first priority is not thinking about saying thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
That is crazy. Wow, this turned into a nice
crazy.
conversation
It was
about
fun.
life.
I
Oh my
know.
god. Wow. I love having these conversations.
We're on the journey,
bitch.
I know. And it's crazy that this happened to me a few months ago, but I've recently been like trying to like get more into like spirituality, not ignore things. Like, what do I really think of this?
For sure.
Because like you can read a book, you can whatever, but it's like, what do I feel? Because like,
Right.
don't you can like think about something and be like, do I feel like that's true? Or,
Yeah.
like, or I'll like pray to God or the universe, or,
Yeah.
and be like, show me what's real. Because
Yeah.
like you see so many
Dude,
people
that-
saying that things are fake, things are real, things are this, but I'm like, what do I feel?
What
Like,
do you feel?
Yeah.
What is real to you? Like,
Yeah.
that I remember there's been a lot of times where I've prayed to the universe and I'm like, if it's for me, keep it in my life. If it's not for me, take it
And
away
like
from me.
this.
Bitch, no, tell me how. Like, I was saying that for like 3 months before the COVID incident happened. And that's when everything happened with my ex, like my friends, like there was certain people that like after that, like literally that was a reset for me. Like, yeah, it felt like a lowest point, but
And
like
sometimes
that
things-
was like a huge reset for my life. Cause now I'm like,
Yeah, so now you're happy, now you're thriving, you're in a great
for real.
relationship, you have the greatest friends
exactly.
next to you. But I do feel like sometimes it has to be extreme, because sometimes there will be like subtle
Like
hints,
signs,
but you like ignore them.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen those memes that are like me praying to God, like, show me if this man is for me, and then like and then they're like, no, I don't see,
I don't see
those
it,
things.
dude. 100%. And like when I think back, I'm just like, I was so dumb.
flag,
like I
red
would
flag,
red
red
flag
flag.
after red flag,
Because when you're in it, you don't see it clear. That's why sometimes it
Exactly.
is super important to like take space and just think, no matter what it has to do with, like a relationship, intimate,
Yeah.
not intimate. Sometimes
sure.
like when you're in it, you don't see like you don't see, like if I saw what you were going through and I would tell you, or like what you would tell your friends is not the same thing you're telling yourself, because you see it differently.
Exactly.
But it's crazy.
It is
and then like once
crazy.
you get a breather, you're like, wow, wait a second, like I was putting up with what?
Yeah.
Like I would never, like
I
I'm
would
like anti
never.
that. You're
Period.
like, what?
Exactly. 100%. And like, it's crazy how your life can transform in such a way. Like, I always call it the slingshot effect. Like, you have to get pushed back really far back in
To
like a
go
really low
forward.
point to like launch yourself like
Which is
hella
great,
forward.
and then you
know?
have to like just take advantage of that completely, because life is always full of ups and downs
Exactly.
and everything. But you have to just know that in the downs you're gonna get through it, and the highs you better ride it out.
Exactly.
But-
And take advantage of like every moment of the
Every-
high.
and especially of the good. 'Cause
Yeah.
as we get older, like when those moments of like euphoria and bliss
Yeah.
that you feel, I feel like they get smaller. Or, like,
Exactly.
they're shorter.
Yeah. Because life
You have a
comes
lot
at
of
you.
responsibility.
Yeah.
It's crazy being
Yeah.
an adult.
Yeah.
Kids
I haven't even gotten there yet. Like I'm adult,
barely.
but like not
No,
really.
I'm a fake adult. as
Yeah.
hell. I'm not a
Me.
real adult.
I'm like, oh my god, like this. I had a meeting with Johnny because like we've been helping each other
Yeah.
like balance our
We know
lives.
that.
Yeah, like he's really good at adulting, and like I'm really good at organizing.
I'm
so
really
we're
good
like,
at being a child and having fun.
yeah, like, and like I'm good at organizing. So like we're trading our skills.
Your organization skills, I'm impressed.
Thank you. I
am
try.
impressed. I need to
try.
get like that.
Yeah.
'cause
Well, the next episode is gonna be about creative
help me,
consistency.
give me
Yeah.
all the tips.
Give me everything.
Sometimes I'm really good. Like I am that color coordinated person.
Yeah, bitch, same.
And like I tried the bullet journal. Have you done your
Okay.
own?
No.
But, like that's hard because you have to like make it. You have to like
Oh,
make
no,
your
no,
calendar.
no.
So when I do it, it's really good and on point. But when it's doing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, like actually doing what
Yeah.
you have written for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the hardest
Or like
part.
actually sitting down to write everything.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
So now I'm
Yeah.
that crazy girl with like 7 notes of like to do lists.
Binders, yes,
I
bitch,
have
that's
like
me.
to-do lists on my phone, like
Bitch,
for like
yes.
each day.
Yes, and the thing is, I'll make them the day before. So that was a fun talk about life,
fun.
organization, your spooky story, bitch. That was crazy.
Now maybe I could really block it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that I made you bring it back up. I hope it was like
it was
a little
relieving,
therapy
you know?
session.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that
Yeah,
this
bitch.
has happened to, because
Definitely,
that's scary.
I've experienced some wild stuff, and if you want to hear it, go look at my podcast, bitch. Go look it up. But anyways, I want to say thank you for coming on, and thank you for
having
sharing
me.
your experience. Also, thank you for sharing your knowledge about like spirituality. I feel like we got into a conversation that I did not expect at all
Yeah,
about
me
life,
neither.
which is a beautiful thing.
I
You
love
know,
it, yeah.
I really like talking about these things, and whoever knows me, I'm very into like spirituality
Me
and
too.
like different dimensions and
I
dreams.
love hearing other
So-
people's opinions or experiences because that just widens our perspective, which is what I think we all need.
Exactly. And that's what life is all
That's what it's
about.
about.
Beach, period. So anyways, thank you so much
Thank
again
you
for
for
coming
having
on.
me.
And where can they find you? What's your @ name?
Viva Lebex.
Viva
Underscore?
Lebex.
I was not expecting that question. I was like, what is my name? I've had the same one since Instagram started. But just tag me, you know.
Viva Lebex.
Viva Lebex. Yes, that's my
Underscore?
IG handle.
Is it
Underscore,
underscore?
yeah. There's an
I'm like,
underscore. Whoops.
underscore.
You can tell I'm really into it.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and thank you again, Becky,
And
for
I love
being
your
on.
podcast.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you for having
you.
it. Keep going. Week number 15.
15.
And
This is
going.
15 and going,
Thank
bitch.
you for having me. It was a pleasure. You're like, I'm out of breath.
Yeah, I'm
I
like, oh
need
my
a
god, the consistency
We
is catching
love
up.
consistency, adulthood.
Adulthood, period.
You're getting it.
I'm getting it. Maybe. I'm like, has anxiety attack. Anyways, love you guys and have an amazing day. Bye.